It's probably gonna be several of these said tonight. It's probably gonna be a few pauses.
Gotta be on top of that.
Ron is the king of pause.
Yeah,
I know it.
he sure is.
Damn, pause.
Ron is a walking.
All right. So I want to welcome everyone
Hey.
to the Shop Talk 7 pre-Father's Day special. It's going to air on Father's Day, but I want to introduce your panel and the guys that you will be hearing from today, because the goal is I want to hear from men on Father's Day who are doing dynamic things in the community and out here in the world and making an impact. So we have on the panel Reggie moving forward, Dr. J, the comedian, also Anthony Media MONIX, redirector from Life Coach Jeff.
There it is. Life Coach Jeff Rutherford.
Yeah, there we go.
Somebody get this shit right, please.
LCJ.
LCJ. All right. And get this D, Dennis Smith. So you're going to be hearing from them today. Just candid conversation. Listen in, tap in, share this. And we're going to have a great time today. Y'all ready?
Oh yeah.
Yes, let's get it.
All right, let's get it.
Let's do it. First of all, let me say thank you, fellas, for coming and assembling here. Real talk. I respect
Yes, sir.
I respect each and every one of y'all, and I'm looking forward to this dialogue. And thank you to all the fellas who are here as well, man. Real talk.
Yeah, shouts out to the fellas once again.
All right, so my first question to you guys, what was it like becoming a first-time father?
I'm not a daddy, so I'm not authorized to answer this question, but I did go through this process. So I can say it from this standpoint.
Daddy, what you doing on the show?
No, I'm gonna tell you this because we lost our baby at birth. We had a stillborn. So
So you did father a child.
I did father a child.
So stop saying you ain't a daddy.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. No, but he real talk on
As
that.
a grown man,
He's
you're
for
a
real
father
with that.
because
Yeah,
these boys are still watching you. Literally.
and that's true.
So you still a father.
And you know, at times I kind of often think about that, and I say, you know, because my daughter would have been 2 years old already. She would have been 2 years old. So I want to really give this answer from a standpoint of the what could have been, but it was so much anticipation in the beginning. Oh man, y'all should have seen me. Like my wife, she was knocked out, doped up, all different stuff. I really thought she was gonna die during this process because she had to. Y'all know how I go, man. You have a stillborn child, you got to hurry up. They got to expedite the birth. We literally went in. They told her little Maya was gone, and then they wheeling her off to go have the baby. That was the saddest I ever saw my wife. I never want to see that look ever again. And I really got emotional when I took a picture of all of us together. I literally called my mama crying and I said, I finally got my family. So to be a dad, you know, and to keep that up, that's why I got a lot. It made me look at fatherhood in a different way because I was ready. But then when I see men like y'all being good fathers to y'all children, that gives me inspiration to keep trying, you know. You don't have to stop at death, you know. You could go ahead and reproduce and recreate again.
Hey, you know what? It's crazy. And this will be the first time I ever admit this openly and honestly. You know, to hear somebody that gone through that.
Mhm.
I was 19 years old and I didn't want to be a teenage father, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, man, I just want my kids to get it. Wait till I'm 20. They literally born 8 days before my birthday, my 20th birthday.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, God got a sense of humor, right? But I was praying that my kids would be stillborn, like, because I didn't want them.
Wow.
Because I was tricked. My children's mom put a hole in the condom. You know what I'm saying? They got pregnant on purpose.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I didn't want the children at all. I didn't want them at all. So to hear you say that, you know, thanks for sharing that, because you never know what someone has endured in the real life situation. I don't know how I would have felt if that had actually happened, but I know that was sincerely my prayer. Like, I don't want kids right now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I was just fresh in the Army, getting my career started. I had, you know, the whole, 20-year plan. I'm going to do 20 years in the Army and I'm going to retire and do all this other stuff. And I get married when I'm 30 and everything. It was like all that was ruined, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then to show you the how crazy it was, on top of that, I ended up having twins. You know?
Wow. Okay.
So it wasn't just one.
You got
it was two at the same time. Like, you rotten bitch. you really did a number on me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So to have to deal with that and then deal with the after effects. But for the first 3 months, I kept my daughters because their mom had just started a new job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't have the time in, so I kept my daughter the first 3 months. It was the best 3 months of my life. You know, I wouldn't trade it in for the world. And I remember crying to my mom and telling my mom's deceased, and I told my mom, what if this didn't happen? You know,
Yeah.
and she never understood. I never had a chance to explain to her what I meant by that. But I'm saying it today, like I didn't want it to happen, you know. But now knowing that it did happen and having the girls,
Yeah.
it's like, man, it was a beautiful thing, you know. So my heart
Yeah.
goes out to you for that.
Thank you, brother.
I think that first time for me, I was 19 years old and I was a virgin. You know, I didn't know nothing about sex or whatever. But you know, I didn't have my father in my life. Like the narrative is, like most black men don't have their fathers in their life. So when I found that I was having a child, let alone a son, I took it personal. Like I want to be the opposite of what my father was to me. I want to be there. I want to teach him how to tie shoes, tie his tie. You know, how to approach women, just all the small things. Now I look at him now, getting ready to graduate high school, you know, going to prom and everything like that. It makes me feel like, you know, all the things that I've tried to do for him over the last 18 years, it makes me feel less hatred from my father. You see what I'm saying? I used to hate my father for a long time because I never even knew who he was. I never really spent no time with him. But the more and more I have maturity and experiences as being a father, it helped me to, you know what, I don't even hate my father no more. I actually want to build a relationship. You know, I don't even know if he's dead or alive right now, but if he's listening or wherever the world he is, you know, I would like to start that bond again because fatherhood matures you as you know, get older and, you know, so I learned from the first time having a child that I want to become better each and every year, learning things as a father. And for whatever reason, my father wasn't there. I can't blame him for that because people have different reasons for doing different things. But now at 38 years old, I am here to say that I want a relationship with him, even though he missed out on all my life pretty much. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's kind of tough to say, but you know, some people never want to see their father again if you've never been there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm willing to start that relationship and fatherhood really just teaches you how to be humble and acknowledge, you know, that everybody's not perfect. You know, the society puts a view on people that's not there for their children. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I don't agree with a person not being there for their child, but everybody has a story, you know, and to have that sit down with someone and say, okay, this is what happened. This is why I went there. I was on drugs, or your mom was getting money, whatever the situation is.
Yeah, somebody to fill in the blanks.
Yeah, somebody just, you know, and I think that for me, my sons, especially my first son, taught me exactly how to be more mature-minded and forgiving my father. You see what I'm saying?
I think that's huge that you said that, you know, you even though your father wasn't in your life, you still desire to know, you know, like you still desire to have a relationship with him. Because most people want to close that off and say, man, the hell with him. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't here, so I don't want to hear his side of the story. I heard this, I heard that, so fuck him. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, like you say, when you have children of your own, you start to see scenarios that might have played into why your parent ain't around. And that might make you curious. Like, wait a minute, well, shit, I'm going through this. So I can imagine my pops probably, who the fuck knows what he was going through, what he was thinking when he had this happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's huge to you. Real talk, mature.
For sure.
Well, my first time came like 3 months after I decided I didn't want children, because the landscape I was around, everybody was it was ugly. Like parenting was mostly co-parents, you know what I mean? And it was all so ugly. Everybody was arguing. Nobody seemed to like each other. I'm like, why the hell do I want to be a part of that? And you know, my fetish for big booties at the time, I just dove in and that happened. So,
Hey, but big booties do that.
Big booties do that too.
Well,
You know, sure. You know, that's how my son never asked me how he got here. I'm gonna tell him the truth. That's how it happened, son. She told me what to do and I did it. But so that happens, and I go from not wanting kids to realizing remembering how I felt about my father. He took custody of me when I was 10, and he was my fucking hero. He still is. He get on my nerves, but that's my daddy. And I still just want to be just like him, even though I won't say it. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess I just said it. Yeah. And I was thinking, like, man, I hope somebody feel that way about me one day. And, you know, and I inherited 2 bonus children that came along with that. They're older now, 23, 20, and my baby boy is 10. And I just wanted to take care of him and whatever was important to him. You know what I mean? So it was a good feel. It got my career on track because I was in the Navy and I was just coasting. I was an E5 over 12 years. So 2 years I was gonna have to get out if I didn't make rank. And I didn't care because I'm like, I'll get out. They're gonna give me a check, big old check when I get out, and I'm gone. But when he was born, I was like, I got to figure out my life. And my career hit the fast track after that because I got focused and I understood what a priority was. Because it was just me. And I've never cared for just me that well. You know what I mean? But I learned what sacrifice is really like. Like I remember not buying anything for myself for 6 years in a row because I got my baby boy and I've inherited the rest of this family and it's all about them. And I didn't even think about me, so it's easy. I just wanted some socks and a beer. The rest of the money go to them. But it was the best feeling, probably the best thing I ever did, man.
That's dope.
I remember my first child. It was scary as hell because my pops always told us, "Don't have kids. Don't have kids before you're ready. Don't have kids before you're ready." So that's always the dreaded conversation where you gotta come home. Hey, pops, we gotta talk. And most fathers know that talk. They know that look. Okay, what you done did? Who's the girl? Whatever. Luckily, the woman I had my baby with, my first child with, we actually were in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a foreign chick. It wasn't just some chick that just got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? It was actually somebody I had history with, in a relationship with. Her father didn't take it too well, of course. You know what I'm saying? But after I got over the nervousness of it, it was like, well, shit, here we are. Here we are. We got this baby on the way. We a team. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And me having a father in my life, which, I don't take for granted. Really, 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 like when I had a baby, it seemed like my mind frame just kind of like, just switched.
It switches, yeah, don't
it's like, oh shit, okay, now I'm looking at everything my dad did and everything he was talking about and all the conversations and all the lectures in the car and all that other shit when he was just annoying the hell out of me that I didn't want to hear. Now all of a sudden they come rushing forward.
Yeah. And
it's like, okay, here we go. This is what he's been telling us all these years. You know what I'm saying? So it was an opportunity for me to impart that on my child. And my first one, like I can remember, we didn't have no car at first. I was on a bus, and I can remember being on a bus stop trying to teach him how to walk, because he was taller. Pick him up from daycare, we walked to the bus stop. While I'm waiting on the bus, I'm trying to teach him how to walk. And niggas would pull up like 4-5 deep in the car. Like this would happen a lot in the hood. Niggas would just pull up like, hey, that's some dope shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking my son down the block, going for walks, just taking him to the park, just doing shit with him. People would say things, and it's like, damn, like, is it really that rare? Is it really that rare? You know what I'm saying? And that just made me feel even more of a responsibility for what I was doing, because they're gonna have kids one day, and these may be memories that, to me, I'm just doing what I do, but these may be life-changing memories for them when they look back on their life. You know what I'm saying? So after getting over the nervousness of my first one, man, shit, it was just like applying everything I done learned from now. So that was my first experience.
Okay.
So, why do you think Mother's Day is elevated more than Father's Day?
Oh.
She asked, why do we think Mother's Day is more elevated than Father's Day? We require a lot less. This is what I think. I don't know nothing. This is what I think. I think that we require a lot less. Mother's Day is catering to the largest consumer group, so it makes sense for them to have more stuff out because they're gonna make some money. We haven't, as men, for the most part at least, we haven't built that culture where, like, when was the last time you asked for something specific for Father's Day? I'm cool if I get a meal. You know what I'm saying? You dig with them? Maybe they don't bug me that day. I've never had a laundry list of things I need for Father's Day, whereas some women do. So it makes sense for the establishments to cater to that market.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people like to say they don't care about fathers. No, we don't give a damn, and that's okay. I think. It's not the law that we'll have to want things for Father's Day. We just happy. Some of us just happy that we have children and Cullen's daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
So I think that's why I think.
I think part of that is a bullshit narrative that's been pushed that men aren't really present in their children's lives as much as women are.
women.
Men ain't doing as much as women are. Men ain't doing as much as mothers are. You know what I'm saying? And so when it comes to the thought of motherhood or Mother's Day,
Mhm.
chances are a bunch of single mothers pop up in your head. You know what I'm saying? And even if it ain't a bunch of single mothers, let's say grandmama. We all hold grandmama on a pedestal. You know, that's because granddaddy put her there. So when it comes to Father's Day, you know, because granddaddy puts some grandma on the pedestal, tell everybody, hey, make sure you talk to your grandmama, say hello to your grandmama, show some love to your grandmama, show some love to your mama.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We always tend to put ourselves on the back burner. Like my daddy said that shit all the time. Like for Christmas, I don't want nothing. Just want to make sure y'all happy. I just want to make sure y'all happy. It's like, dude, over time, like you a human being, you got to have.
You gonna want something. Yeah, you gonna want something.
That's how I find peace though. I found peace in that. It's like just being low maintenance. It's like cool, hey, no, y'all got it. As long as y'all happy. As long as y'all happy, ain't nobody bugging me.
Which I agree with.
You know,
But I also feel like it does us a disservice because it teaches us
over time.
Yeah, it teaches us not to value ourselves enough to value ourselves the way we do everybody else around.
And then we get into that. Over time, we get into that. Nobody listens to me bad. We don't just say it.
Yeah.
But we're living the result. We're living the result of not having been heard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think that's a big part of it. Since we have not been heard, now we are now starting to be heard.
Now we're sassy.
Yeah, now we sassy. Now we starting to ruckus. Now we stirring the pot because brothers got views now.
Right.
You know, and so you know, hook me up. I want a little bit more than them boxes on Father's Day.
Right.
You know, take me out there. Hook me up with a little something from the Olive Garden or somewhere in Chicago. I don't care what it is, because for me it's the thought. It's the thought. If she puts some thought and some effort behind it, or you looking at even being that mentor or father figure, and somebody does something for you, that's what I hold on to. I appreciate that part. I'm not really looking for nothing, but it's nice to be acknowledged.
Right.
You know?
I think it starts with us acknowledging ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where it starts. And to be honest with you, it's why I say I think it's a bullshit narrative, because Father's Day turned up. Well, from my perspective, like Father's Day always turned up.
Right.
Father's was always hitting the grill. You hitting the card game. There's always a ball game or something on. It was always like a men coming around. Like it was always something going on Father's Day.
Isn't that usually us doing that though?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like we do it for ourselves.
Nobody celebrates,
which is great.
Yeah.
So she was saying like, why aren't we celebrated? We celebrate ourselves, but you hit different when somebody else do it.
You do.
It do.
I think it's from
rub
the
my arm right now. That's great. But if my woman come rub my arm, it's different. It's way different.
I think it's from the culture that we're in. You know, if we go back beyond the Western civilization that we're in now, the narrative, as you talked about, was totally different. And if you go over to Africa today, you know what I'm saying, the villages, the narrative is different. The man is the prize. We have been taught as a kid, even as a young man, that the girl is the prize. You know, you got to go get the girl, make sure she good, do this. You got to cater to the woman, cater to the young lady, cater to her feelings. Don't hit a girl. Why? Because she's emotional, right? So don't hit her. She can hit you, but don't hit her. So we've been taught this because of our civilization, the culture that we have come over to. Whereas if you go back to our lineage, our roots, our heritage, the best movie to really display this was Coming to America. I know we laugh at it.
The first one or the second?
The first one.
Okay.
I know we laugh at it, but it was so true. You know what I'm saying? When the woman came in there, she was barking like a dog. And not saying that women should bark like a dog or anything like that. But the narrative of the story that was placed there was that the prince was the prize. So if we learn how to actually put the man as the prize again, and for women to really see us in the characteristics that we have and what we bring to the table, I think because they minimize us and they have put us in a position to demasculize us as well, that we don't mean anything. You know, I've heard somebody, I think it was on your show when you said that someone said that men have no purpose, they're not valuable, right? And
That's wild.
It's wild, you know, but this is the society thought that's out there, that men have no purpose. Like, what are you good for? And when you look at it, that's really how a lot of them think of us. So when you look at Father's Day and Mother's Day in comparison, of course, it pales in comparison, because they say, man, like you just said, why put all this stuff out, you know, when we know that everybody's going to come and take care of their mama? Because, again, we're going to say, did you talk to your mama? Did you do this for your mama?
Exactly.
Because we have set that standard, because it's what was given to us. We watch our fathers and grandfathers, like you said, make sure your grandmama, make sure you talk to her when you do this. When you go to school, what they do, they have you putting together, Mother Day projects as kids. You know what I'm saying? Father's Day come around, they're like, all right, guys, have a great weekend.
Exactly.
Because half you little motherfuckers don't know y'all daddy doing.
You know what I wonder, man? I wonder if men being a prize is a social class thing. You use the example coming to America. Hakeem was a prince. So shit, of course he's a prize. But is the dude at McDonald's a prize? Is he looked at that way?
So
in our culture, if I could just interject, man, in our culture now, I don't care what you got. We were just having this conversation before the show started, about how successful women don't want a successful man. Right. They'll get Pookie and Nook Nook because they know that Pookie and Nook Nook need them. Yeah. The successful man does not need them. You know what I'm saying? It's a control factor. So I can get him an Xbox, I'm a carton of cigarettes and some 3.5, and he can sit at my crib and drive me to work, and I know he's there. But the successful man,
I can get rid of.
Exactly. And the successful man, as soon as he's tired of me not doing what I'm supposed to do as a woman, his ass is out of here. And I can't deal with that. I can't control that narrative.
I think it's very common in successful people to want somebody who needs them for something. I ain't saying every successful person, but I think it's very common because you got all this stuff, all this shit, you got all this stuff, all this access with nobody to give it to. I've seen people feel devalued at that point. So that's why a lot of people who have things, they're with people who need those things or could use those things.
But if you notice those people too, there are a lot of control freaks as well. They use those things to control them because that keeps them there. Mm-hmm. But when you want to, as you were just saying before we started recording, you're a nice guy. You just want to give because that's just your nature. You know what I'm saying? So when you have that person in this societal point of view, I don't care how rich you are, we still, especially as a black man, you've still been taught to be looked upon as though you're nothing.
Now, I will say this, to speak to the society and the culture part. Y'all know me. If y'all tune into the show, do all this stuff, y'all already know. I use me and my wife as an example all the time.
It's that relevant, man. Yeah.
I ain't got time.
Redirect. Be focused. Biggs Radio. It's my Jeff impression.
Big dog. That's the Jeff. I do say big dog all the time, too. I say that a lot.
Big dog.
But anyway, the thing with me and my wife is it's crazy because we went through so much turmoil in the beginning, because of how she'd been raised, different things of that nature, the things her parents taught her. And then when you look at how, because y'all know my wife has a vision impairment too, so it was a different narrative being spit to her in terms of what you can do, how you can do it. They taught her to be so limited, not even limited. No, bro. They taught her to be very independent. They taught her to be very independent. Look, man, my wife will swear up and down she ain't got no sight, but I swear this woman can see from how she moved. From how she moved, because she's just adapted so well, but merely based off the fact that her parents told her you could do anything. Now, when you meet somebody like me, now I'm showing you that you can't do everything. You need me. So when we went through those growing pains, it wasn't more of she thought it was more of a power and control trip. And I had to tell her, I said, babe, I don't want to be in control of nothing. The thing is, I would love for us to work together. Yeah. But if we keep fighting and you see it as a power struggle, we're not going to get anywhere. But that's, once again, the society that we live in.
Because, again, it goes back, Jeff, that we've been taught we gotta cater to the woman.
We have to cater.
So her mindset is, well,
yes,
you should listen to what I gotta say. Exactly. You should do it my way.
Yep.
Because that's how they've been taught.
Exactly. So now we at a point to where now we are not listening to react, but we are listening to understand.
That's right.
Pay attention to the words that are actually coming out of my mouth and not the perception that you have built in your mind of what you think I'm saying.
A lot of people hear it through defensiveness. And so a lot of times when they hear things, they've already stopped listening.
All the time.
Because you need a defensive trigger. So I'm listening. Whatever you got to say after this, I ain't thinking about it.
You can see it in their face.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. Yeah.
I think that most times when I think of why Mother's Day is highlighted more than Father's Day, I think of just how society views mothers and how mothers are typically responsible for the day-to-day of a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even when the child is born, they, you know, immediately put the baby into the mom's hands. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the father's probably not even in the emergency room. You see what I'm saying? So from that point on, they're responsible for, you know, the child eating and sleeping and bathing and clothing and everything like that. In the aid office, when getting food stamps or getting, like, you see moms in those, you don't see a lot of fathers in there with their kids trying to get like aid assistance, you know, child support. You hardly see women on child support. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they don't happen, but you hardly see it. So when you think of the overview of Mother's Day, it culminates to all of that stuff what women have to deal with on a day-to-day basis with that child. And then the men can chime in and give you a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there, come see the baby on the weekends, or come, you know what I'm saying? And that's optional for a lot of men. But the mom is there every day, every night when the baby's sick, you know. So I view Mother's Day as, that's why it's highlighted more. Now, for men that, you know, are there with their kids and, you know, are present, you know, I do feel like, you know, Father's Day should be a little bit more highlighted. But even then, I never trip about why all the restaurants is full on Mother's Day, and then on Father's Day you can just walk in and get a table. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I always view it like that, especially with my mom. My mom passed when I was 19 years old. My mom took care of me like no other. My father was never around. So I always view Mother's Day as just shout out to the moms like that. That was just there day to day, night to night, when I'm sick, when I'm bad at school, like all of that stuff. And you're supposed to, you know, acknowledge them every day, but those Mother's Days, those are highlighted because of that. And that's how I view it.
Yeah.
But can I add to that real quick? I think another reason is because most of what we see is from moms.
I was just about to say that.
Most of the work we
It's
see,
the most visible work.
they do the most visible work.
They do.
Yeah.
Most of
Most
what we
of the time,
see
yeah.
come from a mom.
Exactly.
You know, even if you look, like, for example, I lived in a two-parent household. I was blessed to live in a two-parent household. My dad was a teamster. He was always working.
Trying to support the family.
He was always working. I got vivid memories of my dad getting up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, walking around the house, hearing the creaking in the floors, hearing him walk down the stairs, hearing the creaking in the stairs, hearing him close the door, hearing him walk down the sidewalk, hearing that gate close, hearing him go into his car, hearing it start it up, and hearing him drive off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a staple in my head. You know what I'm saying? And even though that's a staple in my head, my mom was the one to go to church. My mom was the one who was over the choir. I was in the choir. You know what I'm saying? My mom was the one who, if we had to get dropped off at my grandma's crib to go to school, she was the one who did it. You know what I'm saying? So most of my memories in terms of like direct parenting come from my mama. You know, so I think that's another reason why Mother's Day gets highlighted, even though the fathers are there and present. Most of the visible work is usually with the mom. They usually at schools. They usually at the parent conference.
That's true.
Parent conference.
And it's like, it's wild too, because mom does the more visible work, but the visible, oftentimes in those situations, ain't possible without the invisible. I was just getting ready to say that. Exactly. Like pops is going
It's
out
always behind the scenes.
in the traditional home, at least.
Yeah.
What I
She's
saw,
able to be visible
what I
because
saw and what I provided with my children. I'm going to work, working all these hours, willingly giving up all of my resources, literally, so she can run the house, literally. Because we're not able to do this if this bread ain't being brought in. Exactly. And it was my responsibility.
That's true.
To bring in the money. It wasn't that she couldn't. That just wasn't our dynamic. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know she can, and she didn't work a 9 to 5 the whole time we was together, and she still ain't. And she doing just fine. So it wasn't that she couldn't, but I went out and did that. But you know, she's the one who made the food, changed most of the diapers, took the kids to school, took them to soccer practice, took them to football practice. You know, venerated me in front of the children, and I'm gonna leave it here. I mean, y'all can still say something, but I want to say this. Miles Monroe, rest in peace. He was at a Mega Fest, TD Jakes Mega Fest, and he talked about why you don't, his version of why you don't see men, why we don't need to worry about being venerated and all this other stuff. I agree with it greatly there. Now it's I have a little more balance to the perspective. But what he said was men are the foundation.
The foundation is not seen.
So the foundation is not seen. Yeah. It don't cry, it don't weep, it don't moan. It just holds it just holds up the house. If it's a crack in the wall, they don't condemn the house. He said if it's a crack in the roof, they don't condemn the house. If something wrong with the water, they don't condemn the house. But if it's a crack in that foundation, the house comes down.
Yeah.
It's true.
And something that's that important don't make no sounds.
Yeah.
And it's the most durable.
Think about
So
that.
it is on us to be the most durable.
Yeah.
Not that we shouldn't be heard.
Yeah.
But it is on us to be.
Yeah,
And it's
but
absolutely at least
when you think about just do a quick role reversal, because 9 times out of 10, well, most times when some people are pregnant or have a baby, they're not in a relationship. You know, I mean, ideally you would like them to be married, that's the standard, but
Yeah.
when people have children, they're not in a relationship or they're talking or whatever. What happens if they change the roles and the baby is born and at the hospital they give the baby to the father instead of the mother? You know, they put all the responsibility, like, okay, the baby's born now.
Yeah.
The mom has to, quote unquote, maybe sign a birth certificate, or, you know. So do you think that if men were given the responsibility that the mother has when the baby's first born, that the narrative would change when it comes to Mother's Day and Father's Day?
That's true.
I would definitely.
absolutely.
Let me jump in there on that one.
Feel a little bit out of line.
The Mingwawa tribe over in Banjul, Africa. Okay, when the child is born, the child is handed to the father. The first 6 months of that child's life, it's with the father. The woman goes back out into the tribe to take care of the chief. So within the tribe, the chief is able to sleep with whatever woman he wants to, whether they're married or espoused to someone else within that tribe. The chief has the pick of the litter. So she goes back out to tend to the chief for these 6 months. And that child is reared by the father within those 6 months. So therefore, the reason why I bring that to the table is because, simply put, if you do reverse the roles, it's not that a man can't not do what the woman does. Society and the standards of culture that we live in now has taught us that this is the way that it should be.
It
So
shapes
now
everything.
exactly the shape of everything. So now you have these women who has the complex of, that's my baby. That's my baby. That's my, I don't care if the father's in the house. That's my baby.
I think it's
You know what I'm
biological.
saying? I don't think it's
I think
biological.
let me tell you why I think it's biological. Because the mother has so much to offer the child biologically. We know that breast milk is some of the best food, best set of nutrients that a baby
This is very
is going to have, right?
Most preferred food.
She has a bond with that child
Yep.
that we will never have, because it was literally formed in her body.
That's true.
We gave him some sperm. It made it to the egg. That calcium spike happened. That showed the hormones that revealed she was pregnant. Right.
Mhm.
That baby went from our mind to out of our
Nuts.
penis,
Yeah.
out of our nuts, out of our
Yeah,
penis.
that's true.
Because babies are born started in the mind. Sperm is started in the mind. Hypothalamus creates the hormone that creates sperm. Right. So now, when that baby is in that womb, it's getting everything from its mother. And on the top of that, I ain't sending my woman back to do something else after she just had a baby. I still gotta go get this bread. You
But
understand?
again, that's culture.
They can
That's
take
what
off-
we've been taught to believe.
I think it's biology, because if there could be something that happened to her body and she can't go back to do whatever
And I
it is
see what he's saying.
that she was doing.
I mean, I
So
get
the
what
biology
So
will
now,
put it down.
we are the ones that should always be
Yeah.
ready to go handle the support business.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We even go back to a hunter gatherer, right? People who go going to get money at a job as a new hunter gatherer, right?
Mhm.
But in its origins, hunter gatherers. I'm not sending my woman to go get a lion, my guy, or a bear or a deer. You don't send the weaker one out, physically weaker one out. You send the physically stronger one out.
And to piggyback
Now-
on that, because that's a good ass point. If we feed a
I love
baby,
you, by the way.
you give a baby to us, we have to find something to feed it.
Right.
You give a baby to
They
a
are
woman,
provided.
She got
she
it.
can provide that from her body.
She go flap.
And the stuff we feed her ain't
For
gonna
how
give her-
long?
That's true. But
You
she
know what I'm
also has to
saying?
eat too.
At least a couple years.
She got
She's got to eat too.
Yeah.
And she's got to be able to have the nutrients that she needs to produce that. So
So
you
it's like
take
you go
that
to work
woman,
and you go get it.
right? So if I'm going out here and
That's
I'm
why
doing
she had a
this and all these things, so we look at again societal standards and what it looks like without the man. Period. And I'm not a bigamist at all, but when you look at the biology, when you look at how the creation story is flatlined for us, without the man, you have absolutely nothing. You have absolutely nothing. So therefore, when you put the child, when we impregnate the woman with our seed, you understand what I'm saying? We give, and I want you to look at this biologically. we give her everything that baby needs by putting our semen in it because it's already created in us. So it's not just the biological mind, it's not the biological medical principle of what the woman was created, because again, she was created from who? From us. So at the end of the day, when you get back down to foundation, what you was just talking about, we got to stay with the foundation. So everything comes from the man. So yeah, her body is able to handle what we give to her to produce things, but we give it to her from start because she came from us. She biologically, the woman came from us as male, and then she became female. So when you come from that perspective and you look at the foundational principles of that adjective, then you would see that, okay, cool. Yeah, we have this and the woman can do these things, but where did she get it from?
I feel you on that.
My science may be rusty, but
And y'all actually have perspectives that actually commingle.
Yeah.
When you actually look at it, they go hand in hand with each other.
no, I want to argue. What do you
One
think?
just begins with the origin, and the other one is talking about how the biological effects happen once after the origin has started.
So we're talking about why Mother's Day will be valued over Father's Day.
Yeah.
It's because probably we jump to the part where the woman is the provider. We skip the part where the man is the one providing, and we get to the part where right. Well,
He provided the provisions.
Yes.
She
Right.
provides with that.
she can't
There you
have
Traditionally.
without having a baby in her.
Exactly.
She can't have a baby in her
Yep.
without having a seed in her.
There it is.
A man.
That's
But once she gets the seed, she's the one walking around with the stomach. She's
Yeah.
the one walking
Yes,
around
sir.
with back aches.
Well,
It's
She's
kind
the
of like
one
a woman-
going up and not feeling herself. She's the one whose body gets hijacked.
it's kind of like a transfer of power.
And when you go to, again,
the woman is the soil.
Transfer of power.
when you go to the deeper brevity of the woman carrying that seed, the hormones that change within the woman even after she has a child, right?
Yeah.
For the rest of that child's life,
Yep.
that part of that child is still in her. Like you
Yes.
talked about your wife.
Yep.
That baby, Maya, is still within your wife.
Still in her. Yeah.
Those hormones that created
Yep.
were on the inside of the embryo was there, and they're still there. They'll stay there with her to the day she dies. So that's why
it.
the mother still has that, as you talked about, the bond that she has with the child
Mhm.
in such a manner, because that baby has literally became a part of them.
A part of her.
However, it came from a part of us. Because that part of us, do you know, every time you emit semen, it breaks you down biologically. This is why we have our hair falling out. That's why our vision and stuff. You know, they talk about, you know,
Oh, brother, you trying to say we need to have less sex?
listen,
Less
I'm
sex?
saying, yeah, this is scientifically proven,
I think
right?
that's what he said.
Here it is. We remember when we was kids, and they would say, "Don't masturbate you know, you put your eyes out."
Uh-huh.
They wasn't saying because you're gonna nut your eye, nothing like that.
I'm walking out. I'm
But
done.
they were saying
I'm sure trying to figure it out.
the
Like,
reason why
If I-
that statement came about
Uh.
was because when you emit semen, again, you got 1 million children coming out of you. So again, that part of you
Very true.
is leaving you. So this is why we age a little more. This is why we lose hair at a younger age, especially for those that have kids. You lose hair, you start, you know, receding early and stuff like
we're
that.
fucking a lot
Your
now.
hair started falling out. Your vision started to get bad.
Yeah,
Look, I'm looking at three of us sitting here. How old are you, Dennis?
None of your business.
No,
You're the oldest one. You look at you.
I'll be 40 this year, right? And my vision is horrible. You wear glasses. You wear glasses. You understand what I'm saying? So
I was
these
born like this, sir.
listen,
Hold on.
I was born like this.
Hold on.
I
We,
ain't get here.
we had stigmatisms at birth.
I've been eating glasses.
so you been wearing glasses since you came out the womb?
Since I came out the I needed them.
I'm about to say, stop lying. You
I got a whole
not have infant one.
Bruh.
I came out the room talking about.
Bruh, I got a whole lazy right eye. If I look at you the right way, this joke
Bro,
going.
I knew it. I didn't want to say nothing. I knew it.
Hey man, it's a part of me. I just gotta accept it.
Now, again, that hereditary, biological, those things
Mhm.
again, when we look at, you know, what was going on with your mom, what was going on with your dad, all those things, they pass down. But for us as men, there was a video on TikTok, I believe, and it was an older dude talking about this, and I started to do the research on it. And man,
Okay.
medically, it's true.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Medically, it's true. The oldest living male is lived in the Himalayan mountains, and he lived to be 256 years old.
He had no sex, correct?
He had never had sex,
Jesus.
never had a wet dream, nothing. Like literally.
So you were trying to kill us. Always
It
full of
literally-
facts.
it literally kills you, because you think about that. You got 1 million sperms coming out of your ejaculation That's a part of you. Where does that come from? Those are cells. So when you lose that many cells, and I remember, why do you think you get sleepy after you bust a nut?
Hey,
You just gave life.
let me give you a different analogy to that. You have a million souls.
A million souls.
Body,
Whatever.
you take all of them sperm and just send them to an egg. Each one of those sperm could germinate an egg.
Literally.
Create a person, create a soul, create a
Yes.
spirit. Like literally, that take a lot for your body from a spiritual standpoint to muster up all of that energy.
And then you're going back to back.
Yeah,
It's that- Yeah.
I'm just saying,
That's
like,
on the physical side.
but on the spiritual side,
It's
it's probably a whole bunch of like like just
Right.
souls and shit.
literally just
See,
flying.
now I got a whole argument against not being able to go for round two. I'm not supposed to, like,
sweetheart.
Fucking you trying to live.
You don't care about
souls.
you don't care about me.
I care about souls. What the
You
fuck?
know what I'm saying?
Oh Lord.
And that's what comes in. I said this on the nightcap, and the people talk
Okay.
about me. I give a woman 7 to 13 minutes of making
That's
pussy
it.
good.
That's it.
Because when I get mine, we done.
And ladies and gentlemen, and this is coming from a picture of health. Okay, this is a nice looking young man, and he's telling you 7 to 13.
souls. Goddamn.
Baby, but they want your soul, all my souls. They want some
It's
souls.
changed my views and perceptions of things today.
All right, Nikki, what's the next
What's
question?
the next question?
That's why I
To
nailed.
move
That's
on.
why I was. Hey,
That is the most in-depth I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Why Mother's Day is more favorable
broke
than
that
Father's
shit
Day.
down. We got to the bottom of it. So we got to the bottom of that shit.
Yeah.
This gonna fall. We broke it down. It's gonna for always and forever be broke.
Oh, yeah.
For real. This is shattered.
This is a legendary
It
episode.
cannot be repeated.
Fragmented.
What else you got?
All right.
Shit.
Just to say this before you go on to the next question, I'm a thinker, man. A million souls, right? I'm producing a million souls every round we go. You get pregnant for 9 months and only produce one baby.
One soul, the lazy.
I shouldn't be appreciated,
Lazy.
Glad there's not a lot of women here.
and I shouldn't be appreciated. I mean, come on, man. Like,
I can't get a dinner.
right? Come on, man.
It's dick.
Oh Lord.
I got it. I got it. I got it.
Now you get it. Now you
You don't get pussy, you give.
Get it.
Right. There you go.
There you go.
My new slogan is gonna be 1,000,000 to 1.
That was a
That's a t-shirt.
That was a t-shirt. Look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay you for it. What's the next question, man? Where want to start?
All right. So I have a boomerang question.
Uh-oh.
You can't.
Hammer time.
Yeah, what's up?
Boomerang.
So what is something you wish women knew that y'all struggle with every day once you guys separate from the family unit? What's something financially, things that go through your mind, the things that we think you don't think about, but does go through your mind but you don't express?
You know,
Oh
I
shit.
was ready to jump in on that one real
because
quick.
I really believe
I'm gonna take my hat off for
my
this.
answer is the big picture.
Uh-huh.
Men, every man that I have talked to has a direction and way that they want their family to go in. They're trying a grander scale that they want to see their family at, their kids, the wife. The man has that vision for his family. I don't care if he working in the steel mill 24/7. I don't care if he buffing floors on the 56th floor of the John Hancock. I don't care what he doing. If he is there working,
Oh,
he
he
sees
said
a
con-
vision. I did, and we did not pause. But it's okay. But this man. But really what I'm trying to say is I feel that it's the big picture. That's what I would want to say. That I feel that while a woman is worrying, that man understands and knows that you are worrying. But he is trying to do the best he can to provide something for you so you can worry less.
Yes, sir.
You might see it, but I feel the man is the first one that has to go through it.
Man, bro, I let me go next because this is humbling for me. What I'm about to say.
Repeat the question one more time.
Yeah, repeat that.
Just so we get it on.
What is something that you wish women knew that go through your head as the leader of the household?
What is something we wish women knew we went through as the leader of the household?
How things you know, dealing with family, dealing with your kids, dealing with what's in front of you,
Mhm.
the way you make money, those things, how they affect you, and that you don't express.
Oh, I don't know why I thought I may have heard some rumors. I thought this question was based around when the home splits.
Yeah, when you leave the household, I think that's what you said.
She said when you leave,
That's what she said at
it's
first.
a number of
And
many
that's what my
things.
thought
I
process
think it
was.
was encompassing.
Okay, so I'll go this far as leaving the household.
Yeah.
What I would want her to know is that I'm sorry.
Bitch, I'm gone.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm a comedian. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Is what I want her to know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I apologize because, of course, reasons for leaving the house, whatever. I could come up with all the reasons and they'll make sense, right? Why I left. I didn't realize, and I wasn't thinking about how much me being away from the house will cause this out of sight, out of mind mentality that I dealt with. I had no value about what she was doing for a period of time. I was one of those guys, out of sight, out of mind.
Mhm.
I still have trouble. I'll be honest. My son lives in California, and it not thinking about it takes me away from feeling like I'm not a good father because I'm not there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry for not having the presence of mind that I have now to understand the nature of what co-parenting needs to be. You know what I mean? And I didn't have the temperament because as a father, maybe some people may disagree, but I think even if the home is separated, you're still the man of that house. House being defined as the community you guys created. You're still the man there. So a lot of us go through these situations where we split and we behave as if we don't need to revere her anymore. A lot of us do that. And oftentimes our girlfriends make us do that. Why you gotta get that? I heard a woman tell me, why you gotta get that bitch all that money?
Yeah.
You gotta go. That ain't your fucking line. I don't like her, but you don't get the fucking but I had also realized that I empower her to do that. Because once again, I'm not revering my family. That's still my family.
Oh man.
And I know some people won't agree with me, but some will, and so it's for them. It's still a duty. It's still a duty, and that's why I be telling my young boys, hey man, don't leave your baby mama. Don't if you don't got to do
Well,
it,
should
don't
it
do
be
it.
the child you providing for the child or
But,
the
I mean,
actual?
If she ain't good,
the
your
unit?
child ain't good.
Let me jump in on
Okay.
that, MONIX, and I'm going to direct this to you.
Okay.
What happens when the woman begins to spew all of that evil as though, okay, well, since you left, you have no say. Why don't we still get the same reverence as you talked about? We should revere her. Why can't we get that collectively in return? So, hey, we can still have this unit. I might be gone. For whatever reason it is, I choose to leave. You told me to leave. Whatever I did, I'm gone. Why the woman can't have that manner of respect for the man to say, hey, you know what? You're still a dad. You still have a say-so when it comes to this child in this house.
So I'm gonna say that I find that as the man in the situation, I have to first know this about me. Look, all right, whatever you're sure of about yourself, can't nobody tell you nothing. Right. Oftentimes in these situations, she could tell you something and you'll be all out of sorts if she said it. So what I found is, regardless of what she was saying, I know who I am. I know what I'm doing. I know what my intentions are. So I didn't have these arguments with her because in my mind, it was like, I'm a grown man, a man. I ain't got no business arguing with this woman because I know that she's in this. I know part of the reason she's in this, acting this way.
Yeah.
I know part of the reason. It's a death when you break up a home. It's a death. And even if it was her fault, right? It's still a death for her.
Yeah.
If you killed yourself, it's still a death. You still feeling the pain on the way out. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, okay. And I can admit we're in a rough patch right now. But when I had it together, it was based on when I brought it back, it was like, I'm going to set this standard regardless of what she does. At some point, she fell in line. Now, it was tough because I kept it going even when it hurt.
Mhm.
But at some point, all of that stopped the first thing that stopped was me caring about what she talking about. I know what I'm doing. You can't keep my child from me. Love you. Blessings to you. You good? Okay, let me take my baby. Even though she acting the way she acting. Because as a man, I don't feel like I need to match that energy. I'm not gonna match them. So if they want to do that, that's for them, man. You don't gotta let that disturb your peace. And learning how to have your peace not disturbed is a practice. It's not a feeling.
That's true.
So what do we do in that? We keep our peace. That's a choice. And it's hard. Don't be easy said and done like a motherfucker. I missed my whistle. I tried.
I wish that more women would understand when a man leaves the household, if a man has a child with a woman, I wish that more women will understand that men, I know we give off this impression like we're just all rah-rah, manly and masculine, but men have emotions as well, right? No man that's fully a man that has a child that's what a woman wants to fully. A lot of men leave their family because of another woman, simply because he sees a better future with the woman. He don't really want to leave his wife and his son, but maybe they're not compatible enough long term. So it's an emotional component to it. Like, man, look, I love you. I still care about you. And I agree with MONIX that I'm still responsible for this household. You know, you're watching my son, you're taking care of my son. I'm still here, but emotionally, I'm not saying you're not nothing and she's something. I'm saying this is an emotional, hard decision for me. But a lot of women think that, oh, well, you just want to leave your responsibilities, or you want to leave her because she got a bigger ass, or, you know, all the stuff that's surface level. Men have emotions too that we want to tap in. And I think if more women understand that part, why you think a lot of men still have sex with their baby mom? Because, you know,
we love them.
It's still an emotional connection there. Not just physical, it's physical too.
Emotional.
But it's emotional connection that men just sometimes don't want to get rid of. And I think more women, women are emotional, men are emotional too, but if more women kind of like think outside the box a little bit, they'll understand that, you know, he is always at the basketball games. He is always making sure we're good. He always, you know, sending me money for food, or, you know, stuff like that. I think a lot of situations that's in co-parenting situations will thrive better instead of just fuck you, you ain't saying your son. Oh, that, you know, so that type of drama.
I think that we, in response to the question, if I can first, the level that's there, you know, of respect for each other, and as MONIX talked about, the respect for yourself, it has to be there. So when you look at the circumference of that relationship and why it may have split up or why they broke up or whatever the reason is, it takes for two mature adults, you know, two mature individuals to say, okay, listen, there's still responsibility here, you know, on your end, on my end. So I'm gonna put my feelings to the side and everything else. So I wish that women would understand even the more that the challenge for us making the decision as to why we left, you know, understand even the more, you know, what I went through to get to this place to say I'm leaving, because for real men, for mature men, leaving is really not an easy decision.
That's not easy at all.
It's really not an easy decision. I know to some women they might just think like, oh, it's just so easy for you to just walk away, but you don't understand how all those times he was grabbing at the air. That's what really pushed me, you know, to get to this decision. So having that respect to really sit back and say, baby daddy or baby mama, whatever it is, you know, why are we breaking up? Why is this happening? I think the biggest issue is that we don't have closure in those situations. So when you don't have closure, it leaves open so many questions that are unanswered that make you draw into your feelings and your emotions, and you stay there. You can't get past that. So you lose peace. And you want this person to try to restore your peace, but they've never heard your side of the story to figure out why you need me to restore your peace. So to wrap everything back around, when you have the idea of leaving and you have the idea of the breaking up, what matters most is for women, I would say, if they would understand, you know, the challenge that we have to go through, the things that we have to endure to get to that place, and the fact that all we really want is to be respected and appreciated. That's really it. And I found out as being a psychologist that we really don't stay with people because we love them. Love it encompasses so much. We end up staying with people because of compatibility. The more compatible you are to me, the easier it is for me to stay. because we're compatible.
You grow in
But
compatibility.
you grow in compatibility, but when you go out of compatibility and you're not trying to get back to that place, it's easy for me to say, okay, I'm gone because this person is more compatible with me. You know, so we find compatibility opposed to confrontation. So you give me confrontation, she gives me compatibility.
I'm gonna tell you this. I had a real thought
I ain't gonna put
of
you on the couch today, though.
I had a real thought of actually wanting to leave my wife. Maybe about 6 months ago. Shoot, maybe a little earlier than that. Because when we start talking about compatibility and we start talking about how we function and how we move, do you like this or like that, blah, 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 woo, woo, woo. Man, I see it differently because I'm like, the biggest problem that we had was understanding. That was the biggest problem we had. Now, me and my wife, we was talking today. We come from two different backgrounds of how we was raised, how we was talked to by our parents, all type of stuff. Two different backgrounds. But what I had to remember is that she said she wants to stay with me. And I was wrestling with if I wanted to stay with her. And I was like, you know what? I'm being foolish about this because I entered into this knowing what I was going to get. Knowing what I was going to get. I'm choosing to leave because that's something I don't want to deal with. Yes, I probably could go with somebody. I talk to people. You know, I'm a talker. So I find myself being compatible with a lot of people. So the thing is, but I'm choosing a life with her. So whatever struggle or adversity that I go through, that's what I signed up for. I didn't sign up for.
So what would you want her to understand?
But I would want her to understand that it's going to take work.
Yeah.
It's going to take work.
Definitely not about feelings.
It takes work. And when you have to learn how to express and talk to your partner in a way
that's
to
a
where
big part that's missing.
Say it again.
So that's a big part that's missing.
Part that's missing. Oh yeah, because a lot of times we talk about things, but it's so surface level in relationships. You know, it's when we start asking deeper questions. That's when somebody gets angry. Yeah. That's when somebody gets agitated or mad.
Offensive. Then,
offensive.
Yeah.
Why are you asking me this? Where did this come from? Well, baby, it ain't come from nowhere. I just really wanted to know.
Right. Well, how long you been holding that in?
Exactly. How long you been holding that in? Well, I ain't been holding it in long, but now since we're there, I want to know why you triggered by it.
Exactly.
That's a deeper question. That's a deeper conversation that needs to be had.
Exactly. I think another problem is a lot of people can't have conversations without repercussions from their answer.
So I can't be honest.
You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you what, me and my girl, we have some of the craziest conversations where I won't go into detail, but these are conversations that the average person can't stand. They wouldn't be able to sit there and take these truths. You know what I mean? And we do this because I don't know why we do it, but it helps a lot. Because for me, at least within that, I feel like I get to be me. I don't have to lie about who I am.
There you go.
And that's a freedom for me, and I need that.
Would you agree that for men like yourself that have no problem with effectively expressing through communication what your feelings and emotions are about certain situations, that most women would consider you soft? Like, oh, why you want to talk about that? Why you want to harp on that? Why you so in tune with your emotions and feelings? Because I think that society has said that men should just hold things in and we should just deal with it.
I think they would not say that to me.
Not to you, but they say it about you, right?
No. If they don't say it to me, it don't even matter. So because I won't know. Right? I won't know. But the reason I don't think they would say that to me is because I really do stand on the idea that I get to have an emotion. I don't buy into the status quo thing about men not being emotional.
Exactly.
If I'm quiet, it's because of an emotion.
Right.
That emotion is probably anger or frustration.
There it is.
If I yelled at you, that's an emotion. If I grabbed you by your face, that comes from an emotion. When I'm having sex with you rough, that comes from an emotion.
Right.
I am extremely emotional. And you don't have to be with me if you don't like it, sweetie. Mm-hmm. I don't need you. You don't have to be here. Shorty need $40 too. It's cool.
Right.
If it was something that I would,
I found out in the Bible that they said the coochie really ain't it's a little bit.
Yeah, you said that. It's a little bit. We can say that.
It said some words.
I need to see the scripture.
Go ahead. Pull it up for him.
but one thing I definitely wish to the question that I wish women would understand when it comes to men having to leave the home is that it's just as emotional for us as it is for y'all.
Very.
There you go.
It hurts just as much to us
Yes.
as it does to y'all. Like MONIX said earlier, you know, when relationships fail, oftentimes it's, you know, you be seen as a death. It feels like a death.
Yeah.
It's probably 10 times that for a dude that has to leave the home, because most of the time he's leaving for whatever reason, and it's not against, you know, it's not of his own will. Normally it's because, well, shit, the woman, we got into it, so society says I'm supposed to leave,
Right.
which is bullshit. That's a whole other conversation. But when we leave, we're leaving legacy. We're leaving what we've built. We're leaving our reputation. We're leaving a lot of shit because that just goes up in the air. When I divorced my wife, when I filed for divorce, it took me a long time to get to a place where I was like, you know what, fuck this. Fuck
I've
this.
been there.
Fuck this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck
It's a lot of break. It's a lot of wrecking of the brain.
Say,
Literally.
fuck what our
You
dad
fall
got to
asleep at
say.
night, he's
Fuck
cried.
what the pastor got to say.
Cause
Fuck
he-
what everybody else got to say.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
I can't say that's but therein lies the problem, though, because the problem I think is, I'm not trying to speak for him, but maybe he relates. They don't see the buildup.
Yeah. They miss it.
A lot of us men don't complain that much. And I don't know if I'm saying we should complain,
And then when you
Not in
look
the
at
way
it,
of
it goes
complaint.
unnoticed.
but you know what I'm saying? But like, it ain't out enough. So to some women, it just looks random.
Mhm.
Like all of a sudden, he don't want to be here.
No,
I've been crying for months.
this was a build up, and I've been expressing this for a while, and it just got to a point where the straw broke the camel's back, and it was like, man, fuck this. I'm just saying it's not traditional. It's not usually what men do, but I don't give a fuck. I'm finna go file for divorce. Yeah, I'm done with this shit because it's either this or I'm gonna end up in jail or worse.
And I can speak to this point because I filed for divorce too. I filed.
I've been divorced twice and filed both times.
And
so-
see,
And see, that's not a common
and
thing.
that's not a common thing. So for me to make that decision, I knew that she was unhappy. And the last thing that I said to her at that courthouse, I said was, baby, if you truly believe that we not supposed to be together, you should elevate and be better, and I should be elevate and be better. Now, I kept my end of the bargain.
Right.
I leveled up and I'm moving, doing everything that I'm doing now. That's because of the fact that I got that out of the way.
Right.
That's
And-
not to
and
say
I
that it
think
couldn't be
again-
achieved with her.
I think again too that society's standards, us catering to the woman, we're not supposed to have emotions and feelings, as you just talked about. So we stay on that 10 toes down.
Yeah.
So when it gets to the place where I know my worth, I know my value,
Yeah, it is. That's
I'm
what
not
it
going to
is.
just stick around.
That's what it is.
And
bro.
you got the woman to say, well, just be patient with me. Just be like, shit, how much patience you want? Like, I'm running out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm teetering, tottering like this.
Yeah.
We're falling off the scale of patience. How much longer you want me to stay patient?
Exactly.
And still, I'm giving you the world. You tell everybody else, oh, I got the best marriage in the world. And the whole time I'm miserable. I'm suffering. I'm dying over here.
Mhm.
And I'm still making you happy because I have a mandate that I made to God first off, right? Because fuck you at this point. This is my mandate. I made a vow before God. So I'm going to hold true to this vow until I say it's over with and we're divorced. So I'm still treating you good. I'm still coming home at night. I'm still making sure the bills are paid. I'm still talking to and watching your old ugly ass kids and making sure that they good. They ain't mine. You understand what I'm saying? I'm doing all these things for you and making you happy. I'm giving you a piece of joy. And the whole time you don't care about my miserableness. So yeah, I found out my worth and I got to get out of here. I'm not.
Can you excite that to you? What did you express it?
Oh my God, I'm a communicator.
Okay.
Jeff, when I tell you I
Okay.
communicate, somebody might even feel like I'm nagging, but it ain't nagging. It's
Okay.
me talking. And I think a lot of women can't really endure and deal with the fact that a man has a mouthpiece to talk about his emotions and feelings
And that's why I
and
stay
stand
quiet.
on it. You
That's
know what I'm
why I
saying?
stay
If you
quiet.
talk about standing on it, I'm listen, you don't talk about this.
That's true.
You can't
That's
tell me nothing's wrong when there's something wrong, right? Because now you're lying to me. And you might not look at it as lying, but you're lying. If I ask you, baby, there's something wrong, you tell me no, nothing wrong. And then tomorrow you talk about something. Remember when you asked me yesterday was something wrong? Well, then, no, you told me it wasn't nothing wrong yesterday. So yesterday's gone. So you better leave that shit there too.
See, my problem was I accepted that.
Yeah.
That was because I accepted that. I knew there was something there.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, too, when you keep asking and asking and asking and you get the same response, eventually you are going to leave it alone.
Right, 'cause you're like, at this point, I don't even
Because
care.
at this point, yes, I've asked so much. I've done my part. I've tried.
I think something he said earlier is one of the problems. Not that he's a problem. What I mean is,
He's saying I'm a problem. I'm gonna look in the camera and say, MONIX said that I'm a problem.
So he
Dennis agrees with.
so he mentioned that he was able to get to business like he needed to when he got that out the way, or her out the way. Did I hear that right?
You heard that exactly right, but do
Okay,
you know
right.
where it comes from?
No, I got.
'Cause I can elaborate on that.
No.
Okay.
I'm not knocking you for
Okay,
it.
yeah, I know.
But I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I just want. So I hear this from a lot of men. I've said it myself,
Mm.
right? But why did I have to get her out the way in order to be who I needed to be? So I understand why we wanted to do it that way. But why did we feel like we had to do it that way? Why couldn't we just be? Why couldn't I just be who the fuck I am? And if she want to step, that's on her.
The reason is because some people are assassins and some are assignments. So we missed that. Some people are sent to assassinate you. You understand what I'm saying? To build you up. You've been in the military. They're sent to build you up, to assassinate your character, beat you down so that you can get to the place of understanding and appreciating who you really are, so that you now understand when you have the assignment or you're dealing with an assassin. A lot of us have dealt with assassins in relationships,
That's
and
true.
we try to turn them into an assignment,
Yes.
and we want this to be a lifelong assignment. And that's not the truth.
And
That's
the
not
other part of this too. I think we give too much energy into this man's duty. It ain't my job to navigate your inner turmoil.
There it is. Your
It
happiness.
ain't my job
Right.
to bring you peace.
That's it.
It's your job to find the peace within yourself
And that's it.
and bring that to the relationship. It ain't my job as
That's
a man to say, okay, well, I'm the man, so pay all the bills, all your emotional issues I'm gonna take care of, and all your doubts and all your
I'm not your
shit, I'm
Jesus.
I'm
Yeah.
not
That's
your
true.
God.
Yeah.
Yep.
You are a human fucking being. If you don't recognize what the hell is fucked up about you, do not bring it to a relationship with me and expect me to govern that because I'm the man. That's bullshit. Whatever bullshit you've been through for the last 4 or 5 relationships prior to me ain't my responsibility. It's up to you to learn from that
That's it.
shit. So by the time you get to me, you are a different creature.
Yep.
Same thing for me. It ain't my job to come to you and say, well, shit, the last 5 women sucked my dick at 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's your job to do it. No, it's my job to figure out who you are and how you fit in my life.
And
And
that's
what
the
bullshit I'm
standard.
bringing into your world.
And that's the standard that they hold us to.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we need to flip the. At some point in time, a script needs to be flipped. Since 2 people can be heard, not just one,
Yeah.
2 people can be heard. But once again, once we start barking a little bit, the bite is kind of tough.
Yeah.
I think we're out of alignment.
No.
I think. All right. When I was 21, 22, I didn't have this language.
Yeah, not many of us did.
At 41, well, we didn't have the experiences, most of us,
That too.
right? So
Very true.
it was cool to be naive with my first woman that I did my first adult things with. It made sense to be naive. We was growing together. We didn't know shit, and sometimes it's better that way.
Yeah.
Read the story of the good tree, good and evil a few times. The tree of knowledge a few times. Yeah. You ain't really supposed to know all this shit. Everybody ain't supposed to know all this. We know too much.
Exactly.
It's too much information, and everybody's not able to do the knowledge good enough to have wisdom concerning all this knowledge. What I'm getting at is this.
Mhm.
I meet a woman. I like to date in my age range. So I'm dating like 38 to 42, 3, right? For the most part. I got so much shit on me at 40. She got so much shit on her at 40. We're set in our ways. So now here I am, 40, dating, trying to get with a woman she probably don't even understand this about herself, but maybe he don't understand this about himself, right?
At all.
Because we definitely don't study human nature. There's a lot of this, you had to study human nature, psychologist. You feel me? So it's like, you want something from you want something from me that you didn't give yourself in 40 years. So you don't even know what this looks like for you. Talk about not knowing a good man when you see it, and vice versa. Not knowing a good woman when you see
Very
it.
true.
I haven't even taken care of myself the way I'm asking you to take care of me.
Man, that's deep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's right.
talk about being faithful. You're not faithful to yourself.
Yeah.
But you want me to do it.
Yeah.
You eat
Yeah.
bad, you make bad decisions, you blow
Yes.
your money. You know what I'm saying?
You want me to spend mine?
And I'm eating bad and not taking care of myself and I've had sex with 76 fucking women, but I'm looking for solace in one. Damn near, it's a fight. Niggas need therapy to get to that because if you've been with that many women, you got so much on you. Talk about soul. I don't know if I believe in soul ties literally, but I can't fight against it and shit because them bodies own you for real.
I mean,
like your temperament goes left.
That's at least
with all that experience.
That's at least a desensitization at some level.
And that's it. That's a good word for
some level.
Desensitization.
Yeah, that's
what it boils down to.
At some level,
you know,
there's got to be some type of desensitization.
Like I'm in a space now where Coochie used to drive me crazy. Hey, Coochie.
Now, hold on, before we get on.
Now it's like
we got 15 minutes.
Oh shit! All right, bet. But I'm just saying though, Coochie used to drive me crazy. Now it's like you can't lead with that with me. Yeah, it's a damn near turn off to lead with that. Right. I've had sex before.
I think that's because you know your value as well.
Again, it goes back to that mindset, right? And then too, when you look at on a larger spectrum, I think what we really fail to realize, male and female, is the quality of life we look for the other person to give us. As you just talked about, we haven't even learned how to have it ourselves. So I'm expecting something from you that you don't have, that you can't afford to give to me, that you never own. That's like you asking me to give you forever. How the fuck can I give you something I've never had? I don't own it. I'm not gonna do that. First off,
I'm not that patient with me.
Exactly.
Deserving of forever.
Forever, exactly.
I don't know you.
And on that point right there, that's exactly where I'm going with it. When you ask me to be morally, consciously, astutely proper to you and deal with you in a relationship and be all of this forever, even for the moment, because all we have is the moment, right?
That's a lot.
Even just for the moment. So deal with me here. If you ask for me to do this, right? You ask me to be honest with you, do all these things, but you watch me lie before God. You watch me be immoral before God. You watch me do dirty shit before God. You watch me say horrible things to other people before God. What makes you think that you possess the capability to have me do that for you when I haven't even respected God enough to do it in front of Him? So now we put so much premise and image on our relationships. That's why when you do go south, when things do go wrong, it's easy to be like, nope, I'm done. Because we put so much inference on what you should do and what you shouldn't do. When we must really understand that we are two imperfect individuals striving for a level of perfection within our relationship.
Yes, sir.
We are two imperfect individuals striving for a level, not perfection itself, but striving for a level of perfection within our relationship. Not what they say it should look like on TikTok, not what they say it should look like on Instagram and Facebook and everything else, but in our relationship, what works for us. So that means that you got to open your mouth and talk to me about what's really going on the deeper side of you, so I can have an understanding of what I should not say and how to handle you. But if you don't give me that, you can't expect for me to be a mind reader and be like, oh, okay, well, I should know, I shouldn't handle you like this. Now, I don't know, because you have failed to open your mouth and allow me the opportunity to see what I'm going to do with that information once you give it to me. So when we have that place that we withhold information, well, I don't want to open up, I'm scared and all this, then you're gonna walk your way out, or you're gonna talk your way out of a good relationship. Because the longer you don't communicate and you are desensitized to communication, what happens to us is it's easier to break away and break off because somebody ain't talking.
Come on. Ooh-wee.
Y'all don't hit me.
Nikki,
Pass the off and play it around.
You got another question?
Pass the peas like they used to be.
Time we got left?
Yes.
What you got?
We'll give quick answers to this time.
Yeah, this time.
Okay, this time. Okay. What does co-parenting look like to you guys? Or if you were in mentor stepfathers?
Fuck them kids.
What does co-parenting look like for me? And this ties back into the last question about what women maybe don't know about how fathers feel when they separate. We still view you as family. And for me, I still view my son's mothers as family.
Yeah.
And that's the way I wanted to operate with them. I just felt like it'd be easier. Didn't necessarily work out that way. Me and my second son's mom, well, my third son's mom, we have a better relationship, but we used to have a much tighter relationship, much tighter family niche.
Yeah.
You know, we get together, go do things with the kid. I come over for barbecues and shit, help cook, clean up, whatever. And it wasn't ever on no romantic shit. It was just on some, hey, we're a family, let's present this to the kid. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you got going on the side, no matter what I got going on the side, this is neutral ground.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We should always be able to come together, and I want my kid to be able to see that.
Mhm.
But when things got rocky, of course, you know, people got their personal lives, got our personal lives, and they cater to your personal life. But I think one thing that women need to understand is that men feel just as strongly about our family dynamic separated as we do with y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's important to us. It's important to us that if we got 3 or 4 baby mamas, that we have some type of ecosystem where we can bring all our kids together. You know what I'm saying? That we got some type of ecosystem where, okay, you understand I'm not with you, I ain't with you, I ain't with you, but I'm here to father all these kids. And they all mine and they all siblings. So as the father here, as the common denominator here,
Mhm.
it's my job to make sure I nurture this landscape.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not y'all want to input, communicate with each other, help
Mhm.
broaden this little ecosystem, cool. If you don't, no problem. You still have to understand that it's my responsibility and my duty to see my family, my kids under each other, or at least knowing each other through me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think that's oftentimes overlooked.
We're just gonna go around the horn. I'll talk about it next. I feel that because you put mentoring children and other stuff into the mix as well. I feel with that aspect of it, even with co-parenting, I feel that with the father, he is to kind of set more of a baseline for that moral compass in the home, that moral standard in the home, teaching the children what's right, what's wrong, and what's the consequences from that. You know, because usually what happens is if you do something, I'm gonna go tell daddy, right? And he's gonna be the disciplinarian. And he's usually gonna do the chastisement or the whooping or whatever you gonna do. There's some form of punishment that he is going to deliver. So I feel that with being a mentor to children and being that man who's in that co-parenting aspect, that man still has the foundation and the responsibility to set a moral compass for the children so they can go ahead and carry that on.
For me, it looks like community. It looks like 2 people trying to make sure the other person's life is better. Like, how can I take this load off you? How can I take this load off you? It's making sure proactively.
You're still a team.
You know what I'm saying? It's still being a team. Oh, I know you had the babies going somewhere. I got them. And
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You need to, you know what I mean?
You need a break.
It looked ideally like I was trying to do when I was in San Diego. After I retired from the Navy, I had to come home 6 months later, but I handled my baby boys day to day, 6 days a week. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have to ask me for nothing. I even stayed around the area until about 7 o'clock, 7:30 till he went to bed. You know what I mean? Just to make sure if I could be help. Because she was working and she got home, had to do this and that for the kids. Little Anthony needs some diapers. And mind you, I sent her a buttload of money every month. So she had money. But little Anthony need this, so they need that. My other 2 step kids at the time, you know, I got you. Boom, I'm going. Because I wanted to be a teammate. Because I knew she has custody of the children. I need her brain to be good. Paul, you know what I mean?
You know what you're saying, big dog?
No, really.
I need her to be in a sound mind so she can take care of my babies.
And not just that,
I was invested in that.
you need her to also understand that she got the help there, that you gonna be there. Like, out of all the shit going on in the world, just one piece she ain't got to worry about. If you need help, I'm gonna be there. If you need me to show up, I'm gonna be there. You need me to make some adjustments on my schedule, ain't no shit. It ain't nothing. What the kid need? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was over my son's mama house. I didn't even live there. I wasn't trying to live there. I just drive out there just so that I can help him with his homework, play with him in the yard, get him ready for bed. You know what I'm saying? Read him a story before he went to bed, and then I drive back to the city to come home.
Right.
Me and her wasn't fucking nothing like that. It was just about me showing up and being there and letting her know that, look, you ain't doing this by yourself.
I think that's the problem right
Good
there. Is co-parenting. Just the title itself is a problem.
Doing it together, yeah.
Because we say co-parent, that means that somebody's watching who's going to do the
Who's
most.
gonna do the most? Yeah.
So when you're not doing more than what I think you should be doing, now it's a problem.
Yeah.
So what we need to focus on is just parenting. Period, point blank.
I hear you on that.
If I can just parent my child and you parent this child and we parent this child together, because there's really no such thing. I think co-parenting is the biggest bullshit term I've ever heard outside of insurance. You know, like literally, you know, so when you put,
you'll say 99 cents.
you can't put, when you put co, somebody got to be in charge. It's like having like the pastor and his wife being the pastor's wife is now the co-pastor. It's bullshit. Somebody has to be in charge. Two people. The Bible says, that a two-headed thing is cursed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So when you got two there, when you parent, it's supposed to become one. So the unification of becoming one, that means that we have to communicate.
Yeah.
We got to know if this child is on punishment when he at your house, this motherfucker's on punishment when they're at my house.
Exactly.
If I tell this little ugly son bitch to sit down at this table for 15 goddamn hours and you come over here and it's your time to relieve, you better be sitting at the goddamn table. You understand what I'm saying? So that now we become one. Same thing with marriage. We become one. We become unified. Yep. But we have such a difference now, and I'm going to yield the mic. We have such a difference now in the societal point of view, is that it's always who going to do the most or who going to do the less, and that's why we have going back to the beginning question about Mother's Day and Father's Day. Yeah. It's about who's doing the most and who's doing the least and everything, opposed to seeing us as one.
Yes.
I think society has done a great job. I believe gentrification has done a great job. I believe slavery has done a great job at separating us. The biggest thing that they could have did for us is take away segregation as Black people. We was the most closest as a people when we were segregated because we had to deal with each other. We had to deal with each other. We had to learn how to live with each other. Yep. We had to know that I can't kill you because you're going to give me the wheat that I need to make this bread. Yep. I can't kill you. So now we say, okay, we're going to end segregation so we can add y'all into the mix. And now it's like, okay, cool. Now I don't need you no more. I ain't even got to use you no more. So I yield. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, I echo that exactly what you said. I don't view it as co-parenting. I view it as parenting. And parenting for me looks like teamwork, right? Yeah. I'm big into sports, play football, play basketball. There's a lot of times I didn't like some of my teammates. We wasn't on the same page, but when it came to game day, we made sure we talked on the court. We made sure we communicated with each other to get the job done, to get that dub, to get to that championship. It's always a goal in mind when it comes to teamwork. Parenting should look like me and you have the same goal to make sure this child stays out of jail, stays out the morgue, stays out them streets.
Getting his wisdom.
So like we have to be on the same page, teamwork wise, to make sure that this child be's exactly what this child wants to be as their dreams, right? I think a lot of times situations with parenting comes out of emotion. Yeah. They don't want to see that other person with another woman, or they don't want to see it with another man, and we're taking the whole
animal around my kid.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want that girl around my son. It's like we're losing each other as far as the teamwork aspect, right? Me and my son's mom, we're not on the same page like that. We don't talk or communicate, but when it comes to them kids, we make sure we understand each other as far as their goals. It's a communication part. So I wish more people and more men and more women took that aspect as far as, look, we got to make sure that little Reggie or whoever, they can't be outside after 9 o'clock. They can't be, certain things, because that's where a lot of misunderstanding and conflict comes, is when you don't even know what's going on with your child.
That's it.
Y'all not communicating, y'all not on the same team. So I really view and think that if more men and more women took the emotional part out of it, took the sex part out of it, and start thinking logically, like, we have one goal to make sure this child succeeds in life.
Yes, sir.
We will see a lot of less recidivism will be down. You know what I'm saying? Like things that all the stuff that's high will come down bit by bit by bit because the parents are. When you see a bad kid in the store or in the streets, what you think of their parents, right? They ain't been raised right. Who raised
you exactly?
So I think that's a key component in parenting, is just being teamwork and having that understanding that we got to make sure that this child succeeds in life.
For those who don't know what recidivism means, it means when you go back to jail.
You go back to jail.
Yeah, back.
See anything at that point. Yeah. Michael Jordan was revered as the most valuable player. How many times? 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So it still didn't matter because he was still a part of the Chicago Bulls. He's still on the team.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, no matter how great you are as the one player, you're still a part of the team. So we can get back to that place and mindset of parenting together. Like mama and daddy, they talk to each other, man, and whether they was in the house or not, if you go back to old school days, you had women that was raising other women's children. You know what I'm saying? Because they had a relationship with that man, and no matter the greatest movie that I believe right now is Fences, with Denzel Washington and
Yes.
was it
Great
Viola Davis?
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis, yeah.
And I mean, man, I'm telling you, the storyline in that movie is so compelling to the black community. You know what I'm saying? It's rough.
It really
But the beautiful picture of it is they both, you said this, and I know you said it, you know, just in passing when we was on the show the other night. You said the best way to stay in a relationship is not to leave. Not to leave. The best way to stay married is not to leave.
Mhm.
It's real simple. And he said it, and I was like, damn, that is so profound. But I know he was just saying it in passing, but it's so profound. Just not to leave. And that really shows to the strength of us as a people when we can just learn how not to leave. And what does that mean? It does not mean leaving. If I leave you, I don't have to leave the goals of this child. You get what I'm saying?
Fact.
I don't have to leave my responsibility as a man.
That's it.
Well, listen, man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man. Gotta give a shout out to everybody here on the panel, man. Shout out to the fellas, man. Reggie moving forward. We got Dr. J in the building, man. Media MONIX in the house, man. Life Coach Jeff in the building.
Yes,
I am Get This D. Reggie, tell them where they can find you.
Indeed, Reggie moving forward. A lot of people just call me RMF. Reggie moving forward on Facebook and IG, man. You just click it and you'll find exactly everything I do there.
You can find me in the aid office on Tuesdays. Trying to talk to some chick to get a link card.
You can be outside the office or inside.
I'm inside. I want to see them. I want to see how much she's been getting. No, you getting 300. I don't want to talk to you. No. 700. Hey, man, what's your name, girl? I'll let you. Dr. J the Comedian. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Dr. J the Comedian, and on Instagram it's Rev Dr. J. You can email me at Become a Better UCS. That's my counseling services, and you can find me at church. I'm probably one of the most down to earth pastors. I know pastors say that, but I think I prove it a lot by just being who I am. At 5100 Virginia in Gary, Indiana, at 12:30 on Sundays.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can find me on Christian Mingle at Media MONIX. You click on my profile, you'll see my link. You'll see my link tree. That'll guide you everything else I got going on. You know what I mean? Media MONIX everywhere, man. MONIX. That's how you spell MONIX.
You can find me at home with my wife.
What's the other thing you can find me there too? I didn't say
So she's watching.
She's watching. She is going to watch the show. So I must put this in here. My ass will be at home watching it with her when this airs. But anyway, yes, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram as Life Coach Jeff Relaford. Also, I do have a YouTube channel under Redirect, Regroup, Refocus. That is the life coaching business. I also have a book. Go ahead, buy the book as well. Y'all can inquire about that. Just send me a message on any of the platforms. And yeah, that's it. Oh, I got a LinkedIn too. So professionally, link up with me.
Yeah. And I am Get This D Smith, man. Catch me at Get This _D on IG, D Smith period on Facebook, and Get This D with D Smith on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
And also tap in on the Shoptalk 7, man. We'll talk when we get down, baby.
That's a lot of
Not
D.
any kind of D. It's
That's a lot
underscore
of
D.
D.
It's a lot of D.
You get that underscore D.
All right.
You get a lot of different forms.
You got 7 to 13 minute D. You got underscore.